Perfect. I think we are live, and so welcome everyone to LinkedIn Pe Charcha episode 35. It's going to be yet another power pack session, and it's going to be all about B2B marketing, influencer marketing. So it's going to be a very insightful session. We have a very special guest with us today in the form of Ms. Shivi Jalota. She is heading influencer marketing and B2B marketing at Story. She has had a prolific experience in the marketing domain, and she is a content creator too on LinkedIn. So we'll be talking about personal branding as well. Welcome to the session, Shivi. It's a pleasure to be hosting
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. People who are watching this, we would really appreciate if you comment down your names. We would love to greet you. And any questions related to marketing, B2B space, influencer space, personal branding, LinkedIn, feel free to ask in the comments box and I'll try to take it up with Shivi in the conversation. Kicking off the conversation, Shivi, my first question to you is how did you end up in the B2B space? Tell us about that journey and also tell us about your journey on LinkedIn when it all started and how did you what was your experience on that?
Sure. So, my first experience with B2B marketing and B2B businesses was when I was in London. I was doing my master's and I
Hmm.
had to do an internship there. So, there was this brand called Reborn Healthcare, and they were major manufacturers and direct sellers of this brand in India called Flamingo. And
Okay.
they usually create these हाथ में पहनने वाले gloves and
Hmm.
neck पे अगर आपको problem है so you can wear those covers etc. So they told me that your job is supposed to look like that you have to sell these products to the businesses, the
Hmm.
pharmacies for the business that time, and you have to go speak with them, understand the pain points etc. Go speak with them, understand and sell these products. And now, me being a completely amateur person, I was like, okay, this is very new to me. I don't know how to do it. So anyway, I started with it, and they were like asking whenever you go to a pharmacy, you were like, okay,
Right.
ठीक है मुझे मेडिकल के बारे में कुछ नहीं पता but I know I have a little bit of product knowledge, so let me go and see how it works. So they used to ask me a lot of questions कि अच्छा ये product कैसे बनेगा, how do you wear it, how do you market it, etc. That's when I realized कि there's more to it. This is very boring. This is not how it's going to work. And fast forward 2021, I joined Story, and I was like, यार ये फिर B2B में मैं आ गई हूँ. I don't know how this is going to work. And that's when my boss told me that whatever you were doing, these things have become very obsolete. There is a
Hmm.
pre-pandemic wala B2B marketing session, and then there's a post pandemic wala jo B2B businesses started taking their marketing more seriously wala session. Uh,
Hmm.
the post pandemic में I realized जो पहले हम cold calling करते थे, हम pamphlets बांटते थे, हम product knowledge जाके दे रहे हैं, that has become very obsolete. That's not how
Right.
it's going to work. So now what you do is you invest in content, you
Hmm.
invest in the full funnel marketing जो 3 stages में divided होता है, awareness, consideration, decision making, and you then create your strategies around it. That's
Hmm.
when it hit me and I was like, okay, this is very interesting space. And because B2C space में अभी थोड़ा सा saturation आ चुका है and people are moving towards B2B, I was like, okay, this is the right time to be in this industry. So
Right.
this is interesting.
Absolutely. And I think B2B को ऐसा सोचते हैं कि it's a very boring space. As you said, that was the misconception that B2B is tend to be boring. But I think nowadays it's changing the landscape, entire landscape is changing with content marketing coming into picture. And especially people who are watching this, just who are budding marketers, I think B2B is a very interesting space to explore into.
100%, 100%. Coming to
Perfect.
the second question, you asked me how I started LinkedIn.
Yeah.
My journey on LinkedIn was as somebody who was a student would start their journey कि अच्छा ठीक है ये job
Mm.
application वाला platform है, you get your job out of it. That's also again when I started working with Story, they made me realize that there's more to the platform. This is not
Right.
just a job application wala platform. This is more to networking. You get to meet so many people. One, you get to nurture those networks. You get to create content, and you start building your own personal brand. That's when
Mm.
I realized कि अच्छा ठीक है, this is something that you have to explore. And
Right.
I would still say that I am not as active as a proper content creator would who's been posting on a daily and on a weekly basis. I'm still that person who has the timeline to post every 10 days, and I'm like,
Mm.
I'm still exploring, I'm still learning. So
Right.
that way I am, I get to interact with so many influencers, and I'm like, okay, this is something new that I'm gaining from this person, this is something new that I'm gaining from this person, so I can put in all my experimentation during the time I'm posting content.
Right. And I think it all starts with that point itself, that we all think LinkedIn is a job portal and we put in the information. Similarly for me, 1 year I was not active. I was just putting my information on LinkedIn profile, and I thought it's done. That's the whole motive of LinkedIn. But then when I saw people posting, I was like, wow, this is something interesting.
Yeah,
And that is when I started doing it. And I think second most important point for people who are watching this is the learning aptitude, because um, important is doing and starting and at least maintaining a consistency.
yeah,
And consistency is subjective, as I feel. As you said, your timeline is 10 days, it could be 20 days, it could be 1 day, it could be anything based on your time schedule and on your this thing. So that's amazing. And we have two comments as well. Mohammed Shivam, thanks for joining the session. Great to see you. Uh, Perfect. So my second question is related to influencer marketing. That's the buzzword nowadays, with brands coming into picture, and both B2B, B2C. I think now B2B is also exploring into the influencer space.
yeah, a
Highly.
lot.
So what's your approach? What have you seen in the influencer space based on your experience?
uh, सबसे पहली चीज that I have realized is when you speak with a brand and you tell them that you're talking about influence marketing, the first thing they have is, अरे यार ये तो Instagram pitch करने आए हैं.
Uh,
Because B2C has boomed completely. Now it's reached that point that everybody is into influencer marketing. So then that's when you have to tell them that no, this is not Instagram that I'm going to talk about. These are for
mm,
different B2B platforms, which includes LinkedIn as well. And they're like,
mm,
this is new. Hold on, what are you wanting to talk about? Like this is something that I've never heard of. So
right.
that's when you start with it. So whenever you're approaching a influencer campaign, for example, बेसिक सबको पता होना चाहिए कि आप कौन से कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स के साथ काम करना चाहते हो, आपका ब्रांड का वॉइस क्या है, आपके टारगेट्स क्या है, आपका केपीआई क्या होना चाहिए. ऑल दोज थिंग्स यू हैव टू कीप इन माइंड. But
Right.
our approach is a little integrated, which puts in all of these things together, and I call it the 3R approach, which is
Okay.
relevancy, the reach, and the resonance. So when
Mm,
you talk about relevancy, you are picking up the influencers जिनका brand आपके brand के साथ align करता है. The thought process has to be very aligned. The objectives have to be very aligned. You cannot reach out to somebody with 100K followers. भले ही they are talking about that specific product and specific niche, but अगर उनका thought process उधर है ही नहीं, तो वो personalized approach आएगा ही नहीं.
mm,
तो कोई
mm,
पॉइंट नहीं है. एंड देन यू
right.
मूव टू द रेलेवेंट कंटेंट दैट दे आर बिल्डिंग. कितना रेलेवेंट कंटेंट है, कितना रेलेवेंट ऑडियंस है उनका. एंड
Mm,
फिर आपको पता चलता है कि अच्छा उनका ऑडियंस अगर रेलेवेंट है हमारे लिए, तो हमारा टीजी ऑटोमेटिकली आ गया उधर से. एंड
right.
दैट यू मूव टू रेजोनेंस, कि आपका जो अप्रोच है, जो आपका एंगेजमेंट आएगा, वो कितना अमेजिंग होगा कि आपका इन्फ्लुएंसर जो है वो आपके जो आपका टीजी है वो वहां से आपके वेबसाइट तक लेके आए.
Right, right. And I think market में sell वो होता है जो trust, basically. Trust is the biggest
बिल्कुल.
factor.
एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दीज थ्री थिंग्स दैट आई कीप इन माइंड, बहुत बहुत बेसिक चीजें अगर आप इन्फ्लुएंसर मार्केटिंग में हैं, आपको यू हैव टू कीप इन माइंड कि आपका जो कम्युनिकेशन होना चाहिए वो बहुत ओपन होना चाहिए.
Mm,
फॉर्म आपका क्या डिलीवरेबल्स हैं, आपका क्या, आपके पे रेट्स क्या हैं, आपको कब पैसे मिलेंगे, आप कितनी बार वो कंटेंट को एडिट करके ब्रांड को दोगे, सब कुछ शुड बी रिटन ऑन अ मेल. इट शुड नॉट बी ऑन व्हाट्सएप, इट शुड नॉट बी
mm,
ऑन अ वॉइस कॉल. प्लीज राइट इट डाउन ऑन अ मेल बिकॉज इट बैकफायर्स रियली बैडली. So
mm,
don't do that. And
right.
second thing, for the brand, I would say have patience. क्योंकि
Mm,
लोगों के पास पेशेंस नहीं होता. वो एक इन्फ्लुएंसर कैंपेन के बाद एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि यार अब मेरा ना जो ब्रांड अवेयरनेस है वो एकदम से बढ़ गया है, आई हैव स्पेंट सो मच मनी, इट्स
mm.
गोइंग टू ऑल फॉल इनटू प्लेस. दैट्स नॉट हाउ इट वर्क्स इन द B2B space.
Right, right, right.
So that
Perfect.
is.
And I think especially B2B, mein research is involved in the buyer journey is very long. So in that, influencer marketing is a very crucial part of content marketing strategy, because if someone in the space is recommending, then I think that adds on to the trust in that research phase, which makes it a bit shorter. That's the biggest advantage that I think
Yeah, yeah.
that it can do.
प्लस राइट नाउ द टाइमिंग इज सो गुड क्योंकि कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव है पहली चीज तो, और
Mm,
ऑथेंटिक आपको कम्युनिटी मिल रही है जो आपके ऊपर ट्रस्ट करते हैं. एंड
right.
इफ यू गो आउट to approach an influencer who has about 500K followers on Instagram, they're specifically charging about 5 to 6 lakh rupees for a post. And if
Hmm.
you want the quantity, if you go on to LinkedIn and start speaking with the person with 500K followers, the cost is literally one fourth of what they're charging. You know,
Correct.
so
Correct.
you get more value, more niche based audience.
Hmm.
और आपको पता है उसके रिजल्ट ज्यादा आएंगे compared to what you're going to give to that 5 lakh
Right.
influencer.
And I think Instagram has become saturated also in that market. LinkedIn is growing in the influencers place. So potential, as you said, abhi right time hai.
हाँ, बट प्रोज एंड कॉन्स दोनों के हैं क्योंकि लिंक्डइन पे ग्रो करना इज अ लिटिल चैलेंजिंग एज ऑफ नाउ
Challenging.
फॉर ऑल द कैरेक्टर बिकॉज इट्स स्टिल इवॉल्विंग एज अ प्लेटफॉर्म सो अ
Correct.
लॉट ऑफ क्रिएटर्स आई हैव सीन हैव लेफ्ट लिंक्डइन एंड हैव मूव टू इंस्टाग्राम बिकॉज उधर वीडियो अट्रैक्शन इतना ज्यादा आता है कि आप
Hmm.
वहां पे फॉलोअर्स बढ़ा लेते हो अपने.
Right, right, right. Correct. No, very true regarding this. And many people who are running the business, many founders, co-founders who will be watching this session बाद में भी अगर देखेंगे तो उनके लिए एक क्वेश्चन है बेसिकली कि B2B strategy, what factors should they consider if they want to do their B2B marketing? What factors do you suggest them, and what are the most important things that should be kept in mind for building a B2B strategy that helps them scale online?
Factors and strategies में again divided into the funnel concept. आप strategies उस basis पे बनाते हो, but तीन चार चीजें हैं that you have to keep in mind before you go out in the market and say that कि मुझे ये product sell करना है, which is you have to make sure कि आपका buyer persona बहुत strongly built हो. अगर
Hmm.
आपका buyer persona ही strongly नहीं built है, you are still confused with what your TG is, what your consumer is, आप ultimately you are losing out on your resources and also losing out on the money that you're going to spend. So
Right.
make sure when you're creating that buyer persona, तीन चार चीजें you have to keep in mind, which is the pain points that person is going to have, the goals that person is going to have, the stories that can be built around, and the scenarios that can be built around.
Right.
So, for example, if a brand comes to me and says कि यार मेरा ना gaming app है
Hmm.
and I want to sell it out to the Gen Z. Now Gen Z कितने भी हो सकते हैं. The
Right.
audience is like a lot. बट वो स्पेसिफिक गेम के जेन कितने लोग जो जेनजीज हैं वो इन्वेस्ट करेंगे उसमें वो
Hmm.
स्पेसिफिक है. तो आप हो सकता है वो सिर्फ 1/4 ऑडियंस हो सकता है वो हाफ ऑफ द ऑडियंस हो जेनजी की, बट आपका वो कंज्यूम क्योंकि वो पर्सोना इतना स्ट्रांगली बिल्ड है तो आपको पता है कि हमें सिर्फ इतने लोगों को रीच आउट करना है.
Right, right, right. No, that is very valid point. I think across all the industries, buyer persona ही नहीं होगा तो I think no marketing efforts can bring you results because आपको पता ही नहीं. And I think one more thing is buyer persona means not only just defining the age of the user or the gender of the
एग्जैक्टली
user.
दैट्स
It's a
मोर टू
lot
इट.
more. Correct, correct. And I think
उनके
it's about
उनके
the
घर
pain
पे क्या
points.
एग्जैक्टली उनके घर पे क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, क्या वो
Hmm.
अफोर्ड कर सकते हैं उस चीज को, क्या वो पीयर प्रेशर की वजह से अफोर्ड करेंगे उस चीज को, ऑल ऑफ दोस थिंग्स आपको सिनेरियोज बनाने पड़ेंगे उस चीज के.
Correct, correct. Basically, all the challenges, struggles, financial struggle, मतलब financial blockers, all the trust factors. So पूरा एक डिटेल में होना पड़ेगा. I think वो founders who are watching this, तो एक detailed document will really help. And वो detailed documents है, I think that will be the origination for all the strategies for
राइट.
B2B, B2C हो, जो भी हो. I think that will be the origination point. Perfect. So that is amazing. I think I'm sure a lot of people will get insights from that in the B2B space. B2B space. थोड़ा सा LinkedIn पे आते हैं वापस. What role did LinkedIn play in your journey? Because मैं बहुत believe you me, I talk to a lot of corporates and I suggest them this one thing कि भाई personal branding करो, at least one post in a month, at least 2 posts, 3 posts, कुछ भी हो जितना भी टाइम मिल रहा है, but at least करो, कुछ presence बनाओ उस पे. The only answer that I get is time नहीं है या ये नहीं है वो नहीं है. तो what role has it played? Maybe you are also into corporate, so क्या लोग पहचानने लगते हैं? What benefits have you seen through LinkedIn?
So I go back to the point that I was forced to create a personal brand, and this was done by my boss. And he's like, "You're representing us on a global level, and
Uh,
we want you to like specifically start posting." And it's enough that so he has been one of the factors behind my LinkedIn.
mm,
He's helped me get into copywriting courses, learn how to write, and I never knew that I could do this. Honestly, I was
right,
like, no, I have some creative stuff, but this is not me.
right.
I don't want to be called an influencer, as they say. And you
Mm.
say, no, you're not getting called an influencer, but you have to build your personal brand so that anybody who wants to understand what story is and what they do will reach out to you. And that has
Right.
happened from like from sitting in an international podcast to sitting in a webinar internationally and representing my company. That really, it's all LinkedIn that's helped me
Right.
because
Right.
I've been creating content around it.
Mm.
And even I was asked to come and speak about social media and influencer marketing in a conference that's called Women Economics Forum, and I got
Right.
an award there. So that was also because I was representing my company, and also because I was creating my profile on LinkedIn, and I was
Mm.
creating content around it. So
Right.
that's the journey that it looks like. Even though if you and I'm not the person who posts on a daily basis, I'm just a person who when feels कि अच्छा ठीक है ये कंटेंट के ऊपर मुझे बात करनी है तो
Mm.
मैं बात करूंगी उस चीज पे एंड आई विल वेरी स्ट्रांगली पुट माय फुट डाउन कि नहीं यार दिस इज समथिंग आई वांट टू टॉक अबाउट वेदर इट्स मेंटल हेल्थ वेदर इट्स women in business whether it's people taking undue advantage of you in the corporate society you have
Right.
to talk about it openly and लिखो and अपने पर्सनल स्टोरीज जब तक आप शेयर नहीं करोगे people will not relate to it.
Correct, absolutely. And I think Ismait gives a very realistic scenario. So, corporate employees who are watching this, I think it's a good time to start because Abhi, I was also reading this article कि अभी 85 million active users were there in India. Now it has come to 100 million users in
Yeah.
India. So, that's the spike that it is having. And I think it's a very growing platform, growing, personal branding, this thing. So, if even one person watching this just starts with the personal branding journey, that would be really amazing. And ये भी excuse आता है I see this कि content ideas नहीं है. So I think if you have never posted, the best content idea is इस session का screenshot लेके learnings डाल दो, tag both of us and we'll support you. So I think that's the whole
100%.
motive of this session. We have a comment from Ajay Amrit Hayat. Welcome to the session. Minal is appreciating you. You are slaying on LinkedIn.
Love
Despite your
me.
posting daily and also rooting for the community and creators. Thanks, Minal, for joining in. So yeah, now my next question is what changes do you see in B2B space? How do you see it evolving over the next few years, and what creative things that you see can B2B businesses can try out in this space?
One of the major changes that I've seen in the B2B space is that people have started believing that personalization is the key to go.
Hmm.
Whether
Hmm.
you're sending out a message, whether you're sending out a pitch deck, whether you're sending out a DM or even a request to LinkedIn, it has to be very personalized.
Right.
And if and you have to talk about the other person, it's not the other way around.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's one change that I'm seeing in the B2B space, and people have started realizing it is very, very important to personalize uh,
Right.
things. Because if an email which says, "Hey, we'd like to collaborate with you, etc.," and we'd like to do this, I'm like, "What's in for me?" The
Correct.
first reason is why should I spend so much time in it when I don't see any benefit that I'm going to get?
Correct. Correct.
That's one. Second is that B2B space has become very open minded.
Hmm.
Finally. So they've
Right.
started to, get into the influencer space also. They have started exploring nano to micro to macro influencers.
Hmm.
Because B2C brands also are coming on the space and they want to collaborate, but there are B2B brands that are coming in and saying, for example, there was a campaign called High Rate. It's a B2B space में ही है भले ही वो campaign hit हुआ नहीं हुआ mixed reviews but
Right.
again they come in and they were like, okay, fine, we want to explore the influencer marketing space in the B2B industry. So
Hmm.
that is one. The other part is that they've become very the kind of content that the B2B businesses have started creating has to be very interactive. So that's what they've started to do. यार
Right.
मुझे इंटरैक्टिव कंटेंट बनाना है कि दूसरा बंदा आके उस पे कुछ कमेंट जरूर करे या
Hmm.
कुछ एक्शन जरूर ले जस्ट सिर्फ लाइक करके नहीं चला जाए अगर आपका
Right.
कंटेंट इंटरैक्टिव है फॉर एग्जांपल आई गिव यू एन एग्जांपल देयर इज अ पेज कॉल्ड मार्केटिंग मिलेनियल्स रन बाय डैनियल मुरे एंड दे हैव अ न्यूज़लेटर आल्सो उनका कंटेंट इतना एंगेजिंग होता है भले ही वो मीम्स का होता है दैट पीपल एंड अप कमेंटिंग इट राइट सो you are still doing it. So
Right.
these are a couple of things that I've been seeing, that B2B businesses started doing, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's becoming like the differentiating factors between B2C content marketing and B2B content marketing is moving out, and it's becoming more personalized, as you said, more interactive, more engaging. I even saw some B2B brands leveraging memes and humor marketing and all of that. Those things which was not really open. Lot of brands were not really open to that some years back, but now I think that is opened up as well.
For example, so I saw this meme on Twitter which was about B2B sales.
Hmm.
Now Twitter is one of the platforms जहाँ पे आप बहुत जल्दी consume करते हो content को, and
Correct.
they're doing an incredible job posting memes because people are actually going on that platform and commenting on this, this is interesting.
Right.
And it's
Right.
a proper B2B sales brand that has posted it, which was not
Hmm.
the case, I think, 10 years back.
Correct, correct, correct. Absolutely. We have a question from Rishabh. I'll just take that up on the screen. Since you were talking about Instagram versus LinkedIn, what do you think are the major factors you need to take care of posting on both the platforms, as in formal versus informal platform differences, especially for personal branding?
Uh, okay, so I'll give my example. I have a very personalized approach when it comes to Instagram. That's a platform for me. Me as
Hmm.
in I have to post whatever I like, whether it's my travel, whether it's my even going out at a restaurant, going out with my friends. I am posting all of that, and my thoughts in the form of reposting certain things. So over that platform, I'm not building my personal brand. I am just
Hmm.
building a platform which is just solely for me. That if I feel low, I can go there and just do things that I like. On the
Right,
contrary, when I talk about LinkedIn, that is one platform that I'm building professionally, where I want people to come on my page and say that okay, this is one person we like to interact with. So
hmm.
you have to figure out that आपको कौन सा प्लेटफॉर्म पर्सनलाइज अप्रोच के लिए रखना है, कौन सा प्लेटफॉर्म प्रोफेशनल अप्रोच के लिए रखना है, और वाइस वर्सा, बोथ आप दोनों चीजें भी कर सकते हो. बट इफ यू आर वन पर्सन हु कैन नॉट हैंडल two things at one time, I think you can start slow and say, okay, this is one thing that I want to do. I want to make this page a more professional page where I can get more leads, where I can guide people, and this page as one more personalized page where I like to, post anything unique.
Right. So I think setting objectives
Yeah.
for the page and also aligning it with the schedule and the way in which you can be consistent on that timeline, I think is really important and very well put. Rishabh, I hope this answers your question. Any follow up question, let us know. We'll be happy to answer that. Yeah, coming to I have a rapid fire round. This is just asking you, quick questions, and I don't have a gift hamper as of now, sadly, but yeah, this is without a gift hamper as of now. Perfect. So you can also explain why you chose that, or what was the reason for that. So my very first question is, what's the most frustrating thing about LinkedIn for you? Be
Um,
honest. No cover ups or no sugar coated answers.
Most frustrating things about LinkedIn, so I have very honestly. So I have had people sending me requests with different names.
Ah,
That hey, Sunita, I'd like to connect with you, and I'm like, I'm not Sunita, I'm Shivi. What are you doing? So that is one
right.
one major frustrating thing that I absolutely hate. And then there's a second thing that I absolutely hate and frustrating about LinkedIn is people where people are talking about how to make seven figures. Let's be
Ah,
realistic. It takes time. You're not out there कि आपने तुरंत start किया और आप तुरंत seven figures पे पहुंच रहे हैं. Talk about the
correct.
journey. Talk about the failures also.
Right. And that too by just working 4 hours a day. I mean, कहाँ हो रहा है
Yeah.
ऐसा काम? जहाँ 4 घंटे काम करके 7 figures. Right. And I think first point also I've seen a lot of like connection request जहाँ पे वो bracket लगा रहता है और name लिखा रहता है and they just send it. तो कभी कभी तो ऐसे I just send it की wrong template copy कर लिया आपने, थोड़ा सा ये वाला copy करके ये वाला मुझे भेज दो वापस. तो वो चीज़ें भी है. So people who are seeing this, I think one tip is which has helped me personally is personalizing the connection notes really helps in building long term connections, because you need to put in efforts to be able to get efforts from the other person for yourself as well. So that is there. Second, who is your favorite creator on LinkedIn if you have to just name one?
Sorry.
तो अब तो कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन हो गया. ये यही क्लिप निकाल के मैं पुट अ क्लिप ऑन दिस.
नहीं नहीं बहुत सारे हैं, एंड ऐसा नहीं है कि आई हैव अ वेरी सॉफ्ट कॉर्नर फॉर दीज क्रिएटर्स. इज दैट दे डूइंग एन अमेजिंग जॉब. One of them has just commented Mrinal. I always comment on her profile and I'm like, okay, she's doing an amazing job. The other one is Vivek Khandelwal. He's also doing a great job on LinkedIn. Then there's a woman called Amelia, who's based in UK. She's built her personal brand amazingly well. then Daniel Murray, of course, and and Justin Welch is a very wannabe answer, honestly. So I'm done with him. So these are 4 5 creators. Then there are micro creators that I absolutely love. There's Supriya, there's Ankita, there is Devan, there is you. So I have a list of people that I absolutely adore. They're doing a great job on LinkedIn.
नहीं,
So
बस मेरे को
kudos.
अपना नाम चाहिए था, बाकी तो ठीक था. Just kidding, but these are amazing creators, and I think LinkedIn as a platform, when you start creating content, you network with a lot of amazing people.
Yeah,
You make so many friends, so many connects, जो कभी ना कभी आपको ज़रूरत होती है, they come handy at those times.
100%.
So I think that is really cool. My next question is, what are some of the resources that you use to keep stay up to date? Maybe some blogs do you follow, or channels, or
Um,
something like that?
I follow newsletters.
Okay.
One of them is Welch's newsletter. Then there's Daniel Murray's newsletter, and then there is very good copy करके एक newsletter है. उनका मैं newsletter follow करती हूँ for more marketing, copywriting material. So these are
Right.
3 4 newsletter letters that I follow.
Right. Binal said, "I'm not trying." Someone is cutting onions. That was totally unexpected. So yeah, that's really sweet, and I think that's the power that you when you appreciate, like you receive so many comments and DMs with appreciation, and that makes your day as a content creator. थोड़ा
Uh-huh.
बहुत hate भी होता है, थोड़ा बहुत friction भी होता है, but I think the major part is appreciation,
But
positive.
then that's the beauty of it. You have to handle trolls because वो तो पीछे बैठ के आपके बारे में बकवास करेंगे. उनका तो दिन बन गया अगर आपने उनके कमेंट पे कमेंट कर दिया.
Correct. Absolutely. My next question is basically, what is like, what do you enjoy more, doing B2B in marketing space, or do you enjoy content creation, which is more your personal favorite, if you have to choose?
I enjoy content creation, honestly. Now I've started enjoying it. And
Hmm.
because I have been working with so many Gen Zs who love content creation, I'm also learning a lot of things with them.
Right.
And with me building my boss's personal brand, building a list of people जिनके personal brand हमें बनाने पड़ते हैं when you're working with these organizations. So it is interesting because you have to learn so many things. You have
Hmm.
to research. You can't just post anything and everything.
Right.
So
Right.
research part, you have to read so many books and you consume so much content कि आपको जब आप कहीं जाते हो ना, so I think that's
Hmm.
when you understand कि I can speak well about certain things.
Right. No, that is great. And I think this culture is also changing. You said your boss really motivated you to build a person brand.
Yes, yes.
And I think in work cultures, this the importance of person brand is becoming more high, because even the clients are now looking at the person brands of employees of the organization that they are going to associate with. So I think that is
And I think personal branding has replaced resumes now.
correct.
So
Absolutely. And soon, like, there will be no CV. They'll be asking
and
LinkedIn
then
profile
you come
दिखाओ.
to profile and see कि आप क्या किस बारे में बात कर रहे हो, आप align करते हो हमारे values के साथ कि नहीं करते हो, and then
Correct.
that's how they're going to give you a job.
Absolutely. My last question of the session is, what are your goals? What are your end goal as a creator, as a marketer? What's the next thing that the audience can expect?
Okay. So, so the next thing that the audience can expect is I'll be more consistent on the platform. Two, that I have started working on another ebook after the one that I worked on and that's been launched with the help of my boss. And the second ebook is going to specifically talk about creation of content and content creators as a whole, which is where I would also be speaking to a lot of content creators, creating a lot of videos with them.
Right.
uh, that's two. And three, hopefully closing a lot more brands and get creators more brands.
Amazing. So we wish you all the best for these ventures. Looking forward to the ebooks and the resources that you are coming out with. And it was great interacting. I think candid conversation on B2B influencer and person branding space. So I really thank you for your insights and your time as well for the session.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And thank you to the audience as well who joined in, and to the people who will be watching this afterwards. As I said, if it motivates you to build your person brand, start karo, aaj hi start karo. Don't make excuses. Just start posting. 1 baje, 2 baje raat ke tab bhi post karo. And I think that will build on, and that is the whole motive of this session, to inspire and motivate people and bring them the give them the practical insights of content creation and the marketing space.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much,
Thank
Shivi. I'll
you.
see you next